Peace, people. Welcome to the latest episode of Rough Draft. I am your host, Kevin Alberto Sabio, and in this episode, I'll be talking about combining my art with my activism. Thank you for tuning in to this latest episode of Rough Draft. We are still in the month of July. So, one thing I forgot to mention in episode 82, also in the month of July, you have GalaxyCon Raleigh. That is a comic book and science fiction convention that is based here in Raleigh. That runs from July 24th to July 27th. Also forgot to mention to people that my books were also briefly going to be on sale on Kobo. So the one that I actually gonna have that I'm the one book that I am actually gonna have on Kobo that's going to be for sale is actually going to be the Chronicles of the Black Fist, book one. So if you're on Kobo, please go over there and buy that book. It's on ever sale since right I decided now to get on this journey to be an artist. I wanted to combine my art with my activism. So one of the things for me is pretty much I've always been a lifelong activist. So, I mean, not to say that I had radical parents or that they were revolutionary or anything like that, but I was always aware of what was going on around me as a young man, especially growing up in New York, as being a young black man. So, that was always something for me that I always saw around me and I was always involved with. You know, I got lucky. I had good parents. Specifically with my dad, he bought a lot of local newspapers, so we grew up in the house reading the newspaper and watching the news and just being aware of what was going on around us in our community and what was affecting us in the city. You know, say I didn't necessarily become fully politically active until the age of 16. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I really got full blown into activism, really started embracing, you say, certain ideologies and whatnot. And that's what made me, I think, fueled me, I should say, to do what I do, like in the arts. I mean, I have to admit, when I first wanted to do something in the arts, like even though I wanted to show a little bit more diversity, because I wanted to get in the comic book field first, yeah, because of the comic books that I actually collected at the time, yeah, a number of my characters did tend to be white, and so that was because of the influence of just reading other the comic books that I read at the time. But then as I evolved that particular idea, I did diversify my characters and then I did make them represent us because all of my friends that I grew up with obviously were black and Latino and we had different experiences and issues that we had to deal with. And I'm like, why aren't I doing that with my own art? You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to embrace that. The other thing for me is also including what I believe politically in my art. Um, it was always about representation. So even though I pivoted from one field to another, that was the main thing for me. I wanted to see us be represented, sorry. And I wanted that to be reflected in the work that I did. So even when I pivoted from going from comic books to doing film and television, I still, like you said, wanted to see us being featured in a lot of the projects. And so when it gets to when I pivoted into being an author, definitely, I wanted to do that. I wanted to represent for us with a lot of my books I was publishing, whether I was writing nonfiction or fiction. If you want to check out my fiction books, I mean, definitely if you read Raise Your Brown Black Fist, the first two books, I mean, clearly you can see my politics in that. But also you have some of my stuff that where it's kind of you're saying with those books, it's very blatant. And also even with some of my other stuff that's blatant, it's like obviously the Chronicles of Black Fist, book one and book two, you say Fury of the People. Also, it's very, very evident in that what I believe politically. And then also Time Will Reveal. That's another one where it's actually very blatant, kind of in your face about like how I view the world and what I believe politically. So I involve that in a lot of my art. Um and then I got kind of like the ones that are a little bit more subtle with what I believe ideologically, because a little bit into Duxtra. Like it's not all in your face, but with the character of Marley, aka Scowl, he's more of an enlightened brother. He's a little bit more politically aware, and you can see that in him and kind of his influence on the other main character of Dasha Vagan. And Knuckle Up. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's more subtle. It's not so in your face. It's not one of the parts of the driving force of the storyline, but we're both the characters of Mandinga and Yusef, what they both believe ideologically, even though they both have a lot of scars in that story, specifically with Mandinga, because the issue with her own background, specifically with her parents, her father was the more um, militant one, for lack of a better term. So he was the conscious one in their family, and he tried to teach her a lot of stuff while she was young. And you can still see that influence in her character currently when you read that particular book. And then also another one, let's see. Oh, drum speaking. So with some of the short stories in there, clearly you can see, yeah, clearly you can see my political beliefs in that. So what you said, half of the story I can like because it's 13 stories, so it's just remembering every single one. I think uh oh, what the hell is the name of that story? Oh, Nation Within a Nation, definitely. Father Figure, another one, definitely. The prequel story that I included in Time of Reveal Autonomy Wars, definitely for that. I have a side story for Chronicles of the Black Fist. That's in there, obviously. There's a character, Tales of the Hood Rat, that's in there, which kind of obviously shows what I believe politically and infusing that in my art. Also, you could just see it like not only in my activism, but also in my advocacy. I mean, creating the Universal Africana Literary Arts Movement is actually one of the things that I do, even though that's more activism. Um, that's just how I wanted to represent for my people. So that was something for me that I thought was very important, specifically with a lot of people out here complaining about, like, oh, we don't have these types of stories, they don't exist, and blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. We do have these stories. It's just like a lot of people, they're not going through some sort of white publisher. They're self publishing. They're going through these hybrid publishers and whatnot. They're doing print on demand and whatnot. So even though they're not being published through mainstream companies, they're doing them themselves, and these stories do exist. Thank you for tuning into this latest episode of the Rough Draft. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this story and you enjoyed the series of my author's journey. So if you would like a copy of any of my books, they are available in paperback format through these particular outlets, which is Author House, Outskirts Press, Create Space, Amazon.com, Barnes and Nobles, Books a Million, and I believe they're also available on bookshop.org. My books are also available in ebook format. So if you like to buy my books in a digital format, they are available through these channels, which is Kindle, Nook, Kobo, Apple Books, Everand, Smashwords, Fable, and also internationally through Viblio, Tolino, and Gardeners. My books are also available in ebook format for libraries. So hopefully your library has an account with one of these channels, which is Overdrive, Hoopla, Baker and Taylor, Cloud Library, Palace Marketplace, Odillo, and also BioBox internationally through the UK and Australia. If you are watching this video on YouTube or Vimeo, you know what you need to do. Please like the video, definitely leave a comment. Please subscribe to the channel. Press the notification button. That way you know anytime that I say something either in the community section or if I'm about to post a new video. And share it to your circle of friends also. So you know how I always like to end these videos. So as I always say, keep the fist raised. I'm always on my literary grind. I'll talk to you again soon. Peace, people.